I'm not following. Like I never that's jurisdiction. We're not. So are you going to try not to get
I like how you said they were going to say about this. No, that was words for me. Honorable mention, and then he wasn't even there.
Oh yeah.
So no, it was a 15-minute waste of time just to watch it. It's just the other.
So what is it? So are you responsible for collective message feedback? Because obviously I'm part of that process.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome to the December 12th, 2019 regular meeting of the Board of Directors, Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. We have our Metro Cable announcement. The open session meeting is videotaped for Cablecast on Metro Cable 14, with a replay on Monday, December 16th at 6 p.m. and Wednesday, December 18th at 9 a.m. on Channel 14. Webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. The open session meetings are also available for viewing on the district website at www.metrofire.ca.gov. We now come to the public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within district jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any cards?
There are no speakers this evening.
Okay, no speakers this evening. Moving on to consent items. Chair will entertain a motion for consent items.
I'll go ahead and move the consent, Madam Chair.
I'll second. I would like to call one particular item out, Madam Chair.
Director Gould, go ahead.
Thank you. I'd just like to make sure that everyone's aware of item 3. The consent is very special. And even though it's under consent this evening, I think it's important that we all just spend a few moments and think about what that resolution's really about. That, one of our professionals paid the ultimate price in this regard, and that this dedication is quite a special thing. And so I know oftentimes in consent we move through that pretty quickly, but this particular resolution is quite significant. So I'd just like to call that out and support him and his family.
Thank you, Director Gould. We now come to presentation items. We have
I think we need to call the roll for consent.
I was already assuming that we had the consensus. It's, futuristic predictions. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll and confirm my future predictions?
Absolutely. Director Sailors.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Orzali.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
And Jones.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. All righty, now we'll go to presentation items. We have Chief Harms on deck with 5 years of service to Director Barnes. I think we're going to embarrass you. Get out in front there, young man. 5. 5 big ones.
Goes fast. Goes fast, man.
Congratulations, sir, for your 5 years of dedication and service. Were you? No? What? Is everybody coming out for a picture? No.
Are we?
No. Quite the opposite.
You go ahead.
Quite the opposite.
Explain it to him.
So I think the tradition has started that you have to tell a story for us or something.
When did that tradition start?
Yeah.
5 seconds ago.
You're going to start the
I'll tell you
tradition.
what, in all honesty, though, 5 years has gone by very quick. And I remember coming into Melissa's office the very first time, and we joked about her ramping us up. And I couldn't have done it without you, and I appreciate it. And the colleagues up here, the professionalism and the staff, it's been fun, but it's been quick 5 years, so thank you. Appreciate it.
What a great new tradition.
All right, thank you all very much. Moving on to action items. Action item number 1, contract approval for fuel and lubricant procurement. We have Mr. Mark Jones to the podium. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, directors, Chief Harms. My name is Mark Jones. I'm the logistics and purchasing manager for the district. I'm bringing you tonight an opportunity and our desire to opt into a procurement contract for automotive fuel that is held by Sacramento Area Council of Governments, SACOG. In May of 2019, SACOG released a bid for the supply and delivery of automotive fuel and lubricants. In an effort to get the best competitive pricing, local governments were contacted and asked to submit their usage to SACOG. When I was contacted about this opportunity, I let them know that Metro Fire was interested and to keep me updated. This bid was to allow all local government agencies to opt into the program through a sub-agreement. The bid requested a 3-year contract with 2 additional 1-year terms. Our current fuel provider from a long-standing state contract is with Hunt & Sons Incorporated. Metro Fire's purchasing team was already interested in putting out a proposal request for fuel because we have been working off the state old contract for a while. So this procurement by SACOG could not have come at a better time. After bids were submitted and evaluated, SACOG awarded the contract to Hunt & Sons Incorporated. The awarded price was calculated as a contractor margin above the unbranded daily rack price reported by OPIS the Oil Price Information Service. The margin listed for Metro Fire is .049 cents per gallon over this daily rack price. Our current margin is 11 cents per gallon for unleaded fuel and 12 cents per gallon for diesel over the OPIS price. A list of other local agencies opting into the sub-agreement includes San Juan Water District, Citrus Heights Water District, Los Rios Community College District, Sacramento City, Sacramento County, Sacramento Area Sewer District, City of Folsom, City of Roseville, City of Rockland, City of Lincoln, Oak Grove, City of Galt, County of San Joaquin, and others are have been approached about it as well. Our 1920 budgeted amount for diesel is $800,000 and unleaded is $175,000. Since Hunt & Sons is our current provider, there would be no interruption in service delivery to our stations. So staff recommends that you allow Metro Fire to opt in through a sub-agreement to the SACOG regional fuel contract with Hunt & Sons.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Are there any questions or comments from my fellow board members?
Madam Chair, I make a recommendation that we adopt.
I'll second that.
It's been first and seconded. Please call the roll.
Director Sailors.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Orzali.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
And Jones.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to say thank you directly to Mr. Mark Jones. I had some questions about this earlier, and he responded very promptly, quickly, with some numbers questions. So thank you very much. Action item number 2, Notice of Award, RFP 19-13, Future Fire Station 68 Construction Manager at Risk. We have Erin Castleberry to the podium. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. As you recall, we came to you earlier this year in April with an architecture and engineering agreement for the design of our Fire Station 68 that we're building here in Rancho Cordova. Since then, we are in full swing in the design process, and once we started that, we began to craft the RFP for a construction manager at risk services. We have done previous contracts like this in the past, and we kind of took our lessons learned from that, started all the way over with our scope of work for this type of service. We took our lessons learned. We reviewed probably about a dozen other sample agreements from other agencies in California and around the country. We compiled them with all of the best points that we wanted to make sure that our agreement and our scope covered. We also reviewed it with our architect to see if there were any points that we were missing, things we weren't thinking about, just to make sure we had a really robust scope of work for this RFP. We didn't want anything to be left out. So with that, we published the RFP on October 25th. It was posted on public purchase on the district's website, and we also sent it to all of the previous construction manager at risk agencies from our previous multiple award schedule. We did a public opening on November 15th, and we received one proposal from Roblin Construction Management Services. This wasn't a surprise to us to receive only one proposal. It is kind of a niche market with the CMAR type service. And with the current construction market here, our project, while large to Metro Fire, is a relatively small project in the grand scheme of construction. So we did anticipate that result. We did review their submittal very thoroughly. We did meet with them, interview them, had some questions for them, and talked about some of the finer points of their proposal and how this relationship would work, and negotiated the agreement that is attached in your packet tonight. The structure of that agreement basically is that we would have a lump sum for pre-construction services, as well as the general conditions, a not-to-exceed allowance for an inspector of record, as well as testing and inspection allowance. And then there's a percentage fee, which would be based on the direct construction cost. So what will happen once this agreement is executed is that once we get to the point where we would bid out the project for the actual construction piece, whatever that comes back as, the percentage fees for the service will be applied to that direct construction cost. So we feel very confident in presenting this agreement to you tonight for your approval, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Ms. Castleberry. Are there any questions or comments from fellow directors?
Madam Chair, I just want to say before, I'll move the recommendation, but I'm just thrilled to see us at this stage. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago I was chomping at the bit to get 68 just reopened. Now we're moving forward with a real station for those guys, so thank you. I'll move the recommendation.
Thank you. Do we hear a second?
Second.
It's been first and seconded. Please call the roll.
Dr. Sailors.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Orzali. Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
And Jones.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Moving to action item number 3, Sacramento LAFCO runoff. We have a selection of alternate special district commissioner. Believe it or not, there was a 3-way tie for that position in the first round of voting, so here we are at a second one. We have seen these names before, and I would entertain a motion for nominating one of these representatives. They all represent Parks and Rec districts, special districts, and this would be the alternate seat on Sacramento County LAFCO.
I make a motion that we would elect Charlie Moore
Okay, so we have a nomination.
for nomination.
For nomination for Charlie Moore. I'll second. Okay, and we have a second from Director Sheets. Any other questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Dr. Sailors.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Orzali. Sheets. Kelly.
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
And Jones.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, action item number 4, election of board officers. This goes to Board Clerk Padilla.
Good evening, everyone. Before we get this action item started, I just wanted to thank our current executive committee. They've done a wonderful job this year, and I appreciate working with each of them. And so moving to 2020, we are looking to elect our president, vice president, and secretary. So I will entertain motions for those seats.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Director Sailors for secretary.
Second.
And I would like to nominate Director Sheets for president, as well as Mr. Matt Kelly for, for vice president.
Got it.
I did it in reverse, but I should have started out with, I would request that we just do this as a slate vote, if that's appropriate. Take your head, John. Say it's okay.
Yes, if that's the motion and it's seconded, that's the way you can vote on it.
Director Wood?
I'll move that we, Director Sailors for secretary, Director Kelly for vice president, Director Sheets for president.
Second.
All right, it has been first and seconded officially now. All righty, we got it down. Please call the roll.
Dr. Sailors.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Orzali. Aye. Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
And Jones.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously, and thank you for only needing me to call one roll.
Expediting the meeting. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well done, one and all. All right, we come to the President's report. I have a long list of thank yous, especially given my 1-year tenuous tenure here as board president. I appreciate the support from all my fellow board members. Thank you, each and every one, very much. Thank you very much, Clerk of the Board, Melissa Pinilla. Indispensable. Really, really appreciate that. The fire chief and all his staff, including John. Thank you so much for you and your services, each and every one of you. I thank you to our Local 522 representative, Trevor Jameson, who attends the meetings and keeps us informed, and to all members at Metro Fire for all the work and contributions to the fire service that each and every one of you contribute. Thank you very, very much. I'm really looking forward to 2020 and continuing all the good work that is being done here at Metro Fire. I would also like to thank the senior staff, Metro members, who attended Monday's memorial service for Sacramento Fire Captain Tammy Thatcher. This includes heartfelt thanks to the Metro personnel who showed up at the memorial and for all those Metro engines and trucks who helped support and give coverage to the city of Sacramento so those folks on duty could attend the memorial. It really means a lot to all of our brothers and sisters when we help each other out this way. And I would like to call for a moment of silence at the end of the meeting for Tammy Thatcher. And with that, we're going to move to the fire chief's report.
Good evening, board members. It's hard to believe that 2019 is almost over. As President Jones said on Monday, myself and the deputies and a number of members of Metro Fire attended the celebration of life for Tammy Thatcher. Also, we were very happy that we could assist the city in covering the stations, and it was a regional effort to make sure that anybody within their system that wanted to attend the celebration was allowed to do that. As far as recruitment, we have some recruitment opportunities that are open. We have an EMS shift captain's position is open, the firefighter paramedic position is open, and an admin specialist. Reassignments, we have on the 6th, Captain Corey Keebler was selected to become a training day position, and effective on January 1st, Chief Tyler Wagaman will be assigned to the dispatch center as the executive director as we move forward with the future of the dispatch center. Meetings that we've been able to attend, the change of command ceremony in West Sac, Chief Steve Benz is taken over there. He came from within the organization. Myself, Chief Bridge, Chief Cassantini, and Chief Wagaman attended a 2-day program put on by the International Association of Fire Chiefs called the Chief's Edge. And what it was is the ability to bring folks from the region together, look at different styles of management and different styles of leadership, and then put you in different situations and challenge you. So it was a 2-day program that we were able to attend that was very well put together. On the 20th, we had a labor management meeting. We talked a lot about overtime and opt-out, EMTs, and some operational plans. On the 20th, I attended the Rio Linda Alberta Recreation and Park District Board meeting and talked a lot about Old Station 111 and the old number 2 and the process of moving forward. A lot of questions, a lot of discussion. At the end of that, the board over there voted 5-0 to move forward again with the support of Old 111, the station, and the apparatus. We had our first family night of Academy 19-2 on Thursday night before their graduation on Friday. The Academy the recruits put together a day where they invited their families down there. Local 522 paid for the food. Our coach and his family cooked all the food and had very well attended family members. It was neat to see during the academy there was 3 brand new babies that were born, that everybody was together, but to see the families together. And then the next night on the 21st or on the 22nd, we had the academy graduation. And on Thanksgiving Day, they hit the field. So that was kind of an interesting first day for them. Some upcoming events that we are sponsoring through Metro, and just recently we had our board retreat in which we talked about the future of Metro. But 2 of the things that kind of fall into that strategic plan as we move forward is the first one is a program that is sponsored by UL Underwriters Laboratory and the International Associations of Fire Chiefs. Last year, Krishana Fields, and I think Krishana's here in the back, we had an opportunity to send her to New York City to attend a program set around kind of the challenges in community risk reduction or fire marshals, what's happening, changes in building construction, changes in stored energy sources. We teamed up with the IFF and the UL and are sponsoring that program for a 2-day program here on the West Coast. And so on January 13th and 14th, right here in Rancho Cordova, we've invited anybody from the West Coast and all of our partners around here to attend. They'll have the 2-day program at the Rancho Cordova City Hall, and they're looking probably somewhere between 150 and 200 folks attending that. So that kind of falls in line with our strategic plan of being able to bring programs where it was great for Krishana to go, but how can we have the program here so that our staff and locally can go to that also. We also teamed up with an organization called Fiero, and on February 19th, 20th, and 21st, we'll put on a 3-day program. The first program will be all about protective equipment that a firefighter would wear, is the selection, any new materials, the use of it, the cleaning of it, what is kind of the best standard that is out there. And it's really focused towards kind of the user, but also for folks to be able to come in and look at our turnouts and gears, and then vendors will be asked or be invited to come and kind of show their stuff. It's very timely as we look at the exposure that we have, the cancer rates that are out there, and what can we do are we doing the right thing, and what else can we do to reduce that? And then on the backside of that, for 2 days, we'll have an incident safety officer program or a health and safety officer program. So one of them is very focused on operations. What are we doing on an operation to improve our safety and the overall operation of the fire ground? The other one just looks at the individual health. And both of them are accredited programs. There's a certification test at the end of it. And they both, if you attend those classes, you will get a year-long subscription to the International Association of Fire Safety Officers. Again, we'll be able to bring that here. Typically, they are on the East Coast, and we've been able to partnership with them for that program. We'll have more on that in the future as we move forward. The last thing, and again, back to our strategic plan, is that a survey went out to the members about our culture, about the Metro Way, and it really is our ability to set up for where are we at today, what do we need to do as far as instruction and the delivery to the membership, and making sure that our rollout plan meets the need of the district. So by the end of tomorrow, the surveys are due back to the district, and we have a third party that's managing that. And then in January, we'll have 3 focus sessions where folks will be able to come in and talk about it. And then after that, that'll lay out our plan for moving forward. So it's not just what we think, but it really is what does the district need, what is the knowledge from the members, and what are the members really looking for as we move forward. So that ends my report, unless you have any questions.
Are there any questions or comments for the fire chief? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll move along to the operations report. Deputy Chief Bridge, welcome to the podium.
Good evening. Can you hear me all right there? President Jones, directors, thank you. Eric Bridge, Deputy Chief Operations. I thought tonight I'd just take a moment to reflect on some of the accomplishments that our members have made through 2019. It's been a very busy year, but it's flown by pretty quick. So I run the risk of missing a few by doing this, so I apologize in advance to the members if I miss out on one of the events. That is definitely noteworthy. But starting off the year, we started off here locally with hosting the first annual Chief Summit, where we talked regionally amongst our fellow chiefs and chief officers about some of the events that are occurring in the fire service today. We also then, down at Station 52, we had our live fire training, which is very valuable to our members. It's about the closest thing we can come to next to having real life experience. Short of that, we try to do the live fire part, which we were fortunate to have also with the Denny's. As you know, we did some training on there, some hands-on type training, forcible entry, destructive type training, and then eventually led to the final burning down of that Denny's under a controlled environment. So that was a good opportunity. We're successful in bringing on about 40 new members through the 2 fire academies, the one in the spring and one in the winter, the fall. So that was a positive, and we're also in the process of rolling out our new SCBAs, which have been have that shelf life, and once that expires, it's time to move into a new one. So we're fortunate to receive some grant funding on that, and I'd like to tell you that rollout process is going very smooth at this point. So we should all be in those new SCBAs here in the next few weeks. So we worked hard with the EMS division and the EMS chiefs regionally in changing some of the way we utilize our resources. If you do some research, and you have to analyze, right? Every time you do something, you look back and go, are we doing this the right way? What's our delivery model? Is it effective and efficient? And we identified some areas, we could be much more efficient. We made those changes, and that's having a positive impact to the community and to our members. Mobile Integrated Health, I know Captain Perryman did a presentation for all of you not too long ago in Chief Law. And we discussed how we're going to assist with some of those deployment model and that response model by integrating providing a mobile integrated health unit, which we hope to see out there kicking up here in the spring. So excited about that. Another key component to making our operations more consistent is providing oversight to each shift. And we did that through our shift commanders. So we had Chief Lozano on the A shift, Chief Wagman on the B shift, and Chief Mitchell on the C shift. We're providing that oversight as we meet weekly on Thursdays. We're able to have reports on how things are going and talk about how certain incidents are happening. They push down to the battalion chiefs, and then they push down to the company officers. This allows for a much more smoother operational and consistent in expectations in how we operate on the fire ground and on EMS calls. So that's been real valuable. Moving over to special operations, our helicopter had 2 significant hoist rescues, very complex rescues. The one in Soda Springs, we were fortunate to be able to have that hoist rescue. There was another one in Forest Hill as well. So we have a very talented air operations division, so I'm very proud of them and proud to report those rescues as well. And our UAV program has had several deployments. That's generally working collaboratively with our regional partners, law enforcement, and other fire agencies. And our program manager has been instrumental in playing a key role in Fire Scope Committee, the state committee that provides oversight to how to utilize UAV. So we are at the forefront of the UAV program. So we did send about 7 or 8 members to Hurricane Dorian, I think, earlier in the year as well. So we had a positive influence on USAR Task Force 7, so it's a privilege to be part of that. And I'm proud of our members to go work in that environment. As you know, generally those hurricane weathers are not the cleanest of environments to work in, but we have several talented people that sign up for that, so we're real proud to report that they work here as well. And then finishing up really with call volume. How did it go? Well, this time last year we were out, to look to my notes, total calls to date, last year we were at 91,500 calls. To date, we are at 94,445 calls. So we're on pace to be just right, probably sniffing right at 100,000 calls this year. So that's the calls for service is there, and it's demanding, and we're going to look at ways to provide additional units, additional members. We have to explore all options. So how do we reduce calls? Do we increase staffing? We look at all of that. So we continue to do that, and we'll continue to do that this year as well. So to end it all with, who is the busiest engine company and who was the busiest medic company? So last year it was Engine 53 and Medic 53, and this year it will end with Engine 53 and Medic 53. But I would have to report, though, that the call volume did go up for the engine this year. It's down by a couple of calls for the medic, so it's essentially the same. But Medic 24, I mean, I could go on with 8 or 9 other units that are literally a couple of phone calls away from taking that top call volume. So it's really a very busy system out there. We have a lot of busy units. So, but I thought I would just provide that recap for the year. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. But that's all my report for tonight.
All right. Thank you, Chief Bridge. Are there any questions or comments for the chief? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right. Our next report item is Local 522 report. Welcome to the podium, Trevor Jameson.
Good evening, President Jones, directors, chief arms, and staff. It's funny, I was just thinking about the call volume too, which Chief Bridge is, and I wanted to touch on, what I was one thing I want to touch on tonight was, and I saw lead off with it, but I think it is important, and that's one of the things that we are invested in trying to figure out for the members and working collaboratively as labor management. How do we make sure that our members are delivering the service out to the community, but also, getting enough rest, getting time to train, getting time for meals. So there is a lot of exploring going on, and I think it's important for the board to know and then our members to know that, we're trying to find data points and to make those changes. It's a dynamic system out there, and it doesn't seem to get any slower. And even as you make changes with dispatch, to try to reduce the call volume is going up behind it. So it's a never-ending battle. I too did go to Tammy Thatcher's celebration of life, and it's as sad as those things are, they're wonderful way to celebrate the fire service. Tammy was a great sister in 522. Director Jones also mentioned the consent item with John DeGraff. I think many times, and not to belittle the importance of the day-to-day, minutia of the fire service and why we're here and working conditions but realistically, it's the big picture. It's why do we exist as a local? It's for the politics, political action, those presumptive injuries, to take care of our members, whether it be work comp protections or death benefits, or the best health care around. It's why we're here. And I'm proud to say that, obviously being a California firefighter, we're leading the nation, but at Metro, we do a really good job of taking care of our members. It's not perfect, and we're always trying to make it better, but we do have some of the best ability to take care of our members. And I think 2019, if I have to say one thing, we had a lot of members to take care of this year. It was a banner year for our members and their families needing the assistance. And Local 522 and with collaboration of the district and Chief Harms leading the way, we really were able to take care of our members that needed it. So I know the board's aware of that. And so I'm very proud of that. And finally, this is my last meeting. Obviously, didn't win a re-election, but it's been a great 2 years. And I know a lot of great friends up here. I know some of you I've known for a long time as neighbors and gotten to know you all. And I appreciate the two-way street of communication with the fire chief, with the board. And, it's been fun. I had a good time, probably the most stressful 2 years of my life, but also probably the most fulfilling 2 years of my life so far. In a professional sense, of course, family really kicks the crap out of it. But, and finally, I do publicly want to thank the shop stewards who are elected to represent either their shifts or the units they are. The shop stewards are really the backbone of the units that they represent. They do a great job filtering information, listening to our members, addressing their concerns, and filtering up to the leadership. It's probably the most thankless job out there is those shop stewards, because they hear a lot. They don't get paid anything. They're elected, and they're really good. I tell you what, people ask me, what is the best thing they need to do is be a good listener, and they do a good job of that. So I thank all of them, and I really want to thank the directors that I worked with, Joel Roberts and Sean Condit, both phenomenal members of Metro Fire and 522. Pleasure working with them. And then I also want to say a huge thanks to President Ty Bailey, who's outgoing, promoted to battalion chief, great friend, great labor leader, and he taught me a lot. And again, just the membership. I want to say thank you. True honor to serve them all. It's a true honor to work with you, the board, and the chief and his staff. I think there's a lot of great things happening here at Metro, and I'm very proud to have been a part of it. So thank you very much, unless you have any questions.
All right. Any questions or comments? All right, we have Director Wood and then Director Kelly.
Trevor, I just want to say publicly, it's been a pleasure getting to know you the last 2 years. I'm going to miss our talks, and I always appreciated the candor you have had with us in our conversations. And no matter what the issue or the challenge that was on our plate that we were talking about or addressing that day, you've always maintained yourself and carried yourself with the highest level of integrity and commitment to your members, and they should all be very proud of the work you've done. And I appreciate working with you, so I'll miss you. Thanks.
Thank you.
I too wanted to express my thanks for your leadership of Local 522 and this organization. You mentioned that Mr. Bailey is outgoing. Who is the new president of Local 522?
That'll be Chris Andrew. He was the former city vice president.
Okay. Thank you.
And then we had Director Gould and then Director Sailors for comments.
I just want to say ditto.
Thank you.
Director Sailors.
I'd like to say ditto, but thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for the membership.
Thank you.
Right, we have We have Director Orzali, and then we have Director Delman Clark.
Sorry.
No worries. Director Orzali?
Trevor, I would love to just say ditto, however, I can't. I truly appreciate the leadership that you've shown all the way through this process. I've talked with you many times, and you've always brought forward the highest standards of ethics and a strong belief in representing your local. I just truly appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank you.
Director Clark?
Yeah, Trevor, we're really going to miss you. It's been a great 2 years, and thank you for working with us. I know one of your toughest tasks was negotiations. It's a thankless job. I know I do it, and no matter what you do, you always have people that don't really understand what you do and the stress that you have to go through and all that. So it's really appreciated. And hopefully we'll stay in contact, as we always have. You've always been open to any suggestion or whatever help we need, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Director Barnes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. A lot has been said here. Hopefully it really resonates with you, the appreciation that we have for you, the time you take away from your family to answer our calls and or meet with us. Truly is that position, the position you held, have no days off. Right, and I've always said it, and I said it one time openly, if you ever question the people who represent you, go do a ride-along with them and see how busy they are, how many times their phone goes off, and all the different, not only personalities, but the help they're trying to offer the membership. So I knew you always had their best interest. You always told me that, even every time we had coffee, and I appreciate it. I'll miss those sessions. I consider you a dear friend, so I look forward to talking with you. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Director. Director Sheets?
I also just wanted to echo everybody's comments. I also, too, like to thank you for the partnership. I really felt like anytime I had a question, you always answered my phone call, and if you didn't have the answer, you got the answer. So I, too, wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you.
I concur with all the comments times 10, and don't worry, we all still have your phone number.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to everybody, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. All right. Okay, moving on to committee and delegate reports. The executive committee has not met yet. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 9th at 5:30 in these chambers. Next up, we have the Communications Center, JPA, and looks like Chief Bridge is going to handle that.
Yes, good evening. Yeah, the Communication Center JPA met on Tuesday morning in Cosumnes. No action was taken there. We rescheduled the December 24th meeting for obvious reasons and moved that to December the 19th, and that'll be here locally with a time and location to be determined shortly.
Might be December 10th. That was 2 days ago.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. And my understanding is I'm supposed to, please, by all means, come to the podium. Chief Shannon, California Fire and Rescue Training, JPA.
Of course, we have not met for some time. We will meet January 16th, 2020, across the hall at 4 p.m. But I do want to pass along a message from the CRFTA members and staff over there to wish the board, the fire chief, and the members of Metro Fire a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and also look forward to 2020 and supporting the needs of Metro Fire's training needs. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, we have our Finance and Audit Committee, Director Kelly.
The Finance and Audit Committee met this evening. Amanda Thomas gave us a report on the expenditures through 10/31, and we are on track. Everything looks good.
All right, thank you, sir. Policy Committee, Director Gould.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Policy Committee will be meeting in 2020.
See you next year. All right, thank you very much.
Just saying.
All right, now we come to board member questions and comments. I'll start all the way to my right and try to keep this in order. Director Sailors.
First, I'd like to say thank you to everyone at Metro for covering stations in the city so that all the city firefighters were able to go to Tammy's memorial on Monday. That was very important for all of us. Thank you very much. And then I'd just like to wish everyone a safe and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Director Gould.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Trevor, again, dittos. I think that's all that needs to be said in that regard. Second thing is, thank you to all my colleagues for continuing to serve the public the way you do and maintaining the leadership. We look forward to the continued leadership of the new executive committee, and congratulations to your ascension to those roles. Having done it a couple of times, I know how important it is and how challenging it can be. And then finally, just like to remind us all that as we go into this season, that this community has a growing number of people that are not as fortunate as we are. There's just no ways about that. And just ask us that no matter what it is, that every once in a while you stop for a second and you think about that, and then you do something kind to someone else that's not as fortunate as we are. Thank you.
Director Orzali.
I just wanted to express my appreciation to all the men and women of Metro Fire and wishing them all the best of possible holidays. It's an honor to be a member of this board. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Director Wood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just also would like to say thank you and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, however you celebrate them, to every one of our members and everyone behind the scenes. I, too, think it's an honor to be here and a privilege, and I wish everyone the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Clark.
Yes, I would also like to thank our staff and all of my board members for a great year. We had quite a few challenges this year, and we always come through. I'd also like to thank the men and women of 522 for it was a tough year, and just like was expressed at the podium, that it was a busy year, very challenging. And I would like to give my condolences to the family of Captain, was Captain, right?
John DeGraff.
Tammy Thatcher. And wish everybody a Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, however you celebrate it.
Thank you, Director Clark. Director Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I look and we talk about the year 2020, and I think hindsight's always 2020, right? So when you look back over the years, it was talked about the different tragedies that we had in the region and how we all came together as a family and continue to do so. I think is something that's not only unique, but it's special to this industry. And again, it's not only the people on the front lines, it's the ones on the behind the scenes that have to make the operations work as well. But when I think of Metro Fire and I think of that, anytime that there's tragedy, no matter where, if it's in the region or in the nation, we're always sending personnel. And the fact that the local take care of them, Chief Harms and his staff make sure that they're taken care of when they come back. And as we're looking forward, how do we look at these protective devices? It's great to hear that we're looking to take care of the membership, because as you hear these line of duty deaths, these type of deaths eat you from the inside, right, because of the caustic chemicals. And for you to take the advancement on that, bring in training that's usually on the East Coast to the West Coast, shows that we're trying to be the front and leaders in the industry in the region. So that makes me very proud. I want to say thank you to President Jones for your leadership over the year. We had some challenging times up here, but again, because of your leadership, we're able to get through it, and we look forward to next year. Something that's near and dear to my heart is the Pig Bowl Guns and Hoses. The charity event coming up, I can't believe it's already coming up. January 11th is the crab feed. Football game will be the 25th. This is something that I'm absolutely proud about. The fire side has not only stepped up, but stepped up big. They have over 50 players already committed to playing. It's funny because they now got the lost side's attention, right? The lost side's already had their team meeting ahead of it trying to prepare. But I'm excited for the leadership that they have on their team, and it's great to see them step up. So I'd love to see you come out and support them. We have a huge event coming up. It's gotten bigger. We've actually partnered with Make-A-Wish, and they're going to be part of what we're doing moving forward. So it's such a great organization, and Jennifer Stoller and her leadership and what she does is amazing. And finally, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. We talk about the tragedies, looking back and all this stuff and the numbers and everything that we've done. There are going to be members that are going to be working on Christmas and New Year's that are going to be called out to seeing things that they should never see, right? So I always say when you go home, hug your loved ones. There's a saying I say at work, get your mind right. When you come to work, I need you focused at work. But when you go home, get your mind right and be with your family. So again, I ask you all to do that. To my colleagues up here, thank you for your the partnership and friendship, and I look forward to next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Kelly.
I'd just like to wish peace and goodwill to my fellow board members. Congratulations to Director Sheets, and peace and goodwill to all of the Metro family. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Sheets.
I too wanted to wish everyone at Metro and 522 a very safe and Merry Christmas, and hopefully everybody has a Happy New Year. And I am very excited for the nomination, and I look forward to 2020 as the board president and learning.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will be adjourning in a moment to closed session, but since everyone's here, I would like to move up the moment of silence for Captain Tammy Thatcher to now, and then we will adjourn to closed session. Will everyone please rise? Thank you very much. We'll adjourn to closed session. Okay.
Especially in an office.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are now reconvened to open session. Council Lawver, please report out.
Yes, the report out is the board met in closed session. First, with respect to workers' compensation claims of Randy Bowes, the board took action to provide settlement authority to their third-party administrator to effectuate a settlement of that workers' compensation claim. With respect to the claims of employee Jeffrey Dornbush, the board also took action to give authority to its third-party administrator to effectuate a settlement of those claims. The board also met in conference with legal counsel with respect to item number 2 on the closed session agenda, and the board took action to reject and deny that claim.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, everyone, again, happy December, early January. Enjoy all the holidays and festivities that you can. This meeting is now adjourned.